you use that expression, infinite return. Like, can you define that? And what do people mean by that?
So I would define that by, hey, I have none of my own cash into the deal. And so if none of my own cash is in the deal and you're making money, your return's infinite.
Sure. Okay.
If you're dividing your return by the cash you have in the deal, and if the number's zero, technically
infinity.
It's infinite.
For those of you that remember 7th grade math.
Okay. So what's also going to be hard about this, like when I do this on a video, it's very easy to write out the numbers and show the numbers. So the challenge of this podcast, and I'll do my best, listeners, is to do the math. And so I'm going to do as simple a math as I can possibly envision.
Nice.
And so let's kind of explain forced equity. Forced equity is, so let me back up even one more step. Real estate revolves completely around, I call it the 80% rule. And so a bank will loan you 80% of the cash. Thus, everybody wants to be into the deal for 20% of their own cash.
Mm-hmm.
So here's how you force equity. Let's take a $100,000 house, and let's say you have a purchase price of 80. Sorry, you have a purchase price of 60 and a rehab price of 20. So you're all into the deal for 80%, and you bought it at 60, but you were economical with your rehab, and your rehab, even though you only spent 20, actually added $40,000 of value.
Right.
And so, because people are like, how does this happen? Well, it's like, well, your $20,000 rehab added $40,000 of value.
Right.
So the bank will loan you on when you want to refi it out. You buy the house cash, do the rehab with cash or hard money, and you want to refi to a 30-year fixed loan. So you're all in for 80. The bank will loan you 80% of the value of the house.
Mm-hmm.
So you go to an appraiser, Mr. Appraiser, hey, this house is worth $100,000. The appraiser agrees. How much is the bank going to lend you?
20%.
No, they're going to lend you 80%.
Oh, right. Yeah.
They're going to lend you 80 grand, right?
Yep.
You got 80 grand in the deal. The bank's going to lend you 80 grand. You pull all your cash out. Your starter capital has all been retrieved. Your balance sheet says you have a $100,000 asset and you have an $80,000 liability. So your net worth just went up by 20 grand magically. Not magically. Economically.
You forced it.
Yeah, you forced the equity.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yep. Total.
So the reason this is appealing to investors is like, cool, I started the day with $20,000. I now have a house. I refinanced out I started the day or the project with $80,000. Project's done. I have a house now, and I have my $80,000 back. And so what do you think most investors do with that $80,000 they got back?
Hopefully reinvested.
Do it again.
Yeah.
And so this is how I actually I started, it took me 10 years to get to 20 houses. I got to 60 houses in 1 year because I just did several burrs over and over and over again.
Yep.
So if you're going to move fast, you got to know the burr strategy. So if you like what you heard today and you want to learn more, sign up for a discovery call with one of the Vreeland Capital success coaches at jimmybreeland.com.